Hello and welcome to a weekly update on future journalism today. I'm your host, Laurens Vreekamp, and I will tell you about some things we're going to cover today. And those are we have a shout out, we have a tool, and we have a trend, and we have a question and an event. So, 5 items. Here goes. First, I would like to give a shout out to our friend Jerry Vermanen. And Jerry Vermanen has had a tough week. Jerry Vermanen is an investigative researcher from the editorial team Pointer from Dutch public broadcaster Caro NCV. And, Jerry, and let me show, this is him, has had a tough week. This is what he tweeted 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And to translate for you, he said, in recent weeks I've been harassed by trolls because of our upcoming broadcast about conspiracy thinkers. One of the people on the show has organized a group of idiots against me. I can now imagine a little better what some people here experience every day. What a misery. So if you want to give him some love on Twitter, it's at Jerry Vermanen. And so what he built with his team, Pointer at Caro NCV, is this, the troll dashboard. And it's a beautiful data visualization. I think Jerry Vermanen and his team are very future journalism, but actually doing it today. So that's why I would like to give a shout out to Jerry Vermanen and his team at Pointer and give him some love, because being harassed by trolls is something you might be familiar with, but you don't want anyone to come into contact with that kind of harassment. So please give him some love, Jerry Vermanen. Okay, and that is our tool of the week. So I'll show you some pictures. This is a picture of a Black Lives Matter a protest in Amsterdam. This is another protest in Turkey. And this is a update mobility report from Google. And lastly, here's a podcast, Babbage from The Economist, on herd mentality. Now, you may ask, what do those things have in common? You can now upload them to Pinpoint. It's a new tool by Google Journalist Studio. You can find it at journaliststudio.google.com/pinpoint. And I'll show you a live demo. So please wait. So it looks like this is when you've got access to Pinpoint. It looks like this. And what you see is your workspaces. So you can have all kinds of collections. I've done herds and COVID-19. But let me show you something that I find very interesting. They've already put quite some collections on a JFK assassination. It's a bit US oriented, but let me show. As you can see, those are 30,000 documents on the JFK assassination. But if you say, I would only like to show me documents where there's a gun involved or a rifle. So then I would go for rifle, and it shows me 368 documents that have the word rifle in it. But if I put away these accents, then it shows you rifle, but I also want to show guns. So if I go for gun, you can see it also gets firearms, so it knows synonyms. And as you can see on the right-hand side, there are entities extracted, filter collection by people, by organizations, by locations, and even more. So more locations. So Pinpoint searches the data and extracts those entities automatically with some machine learning. Now, I've made a collection myself, and it's just a random collection of these images I've just shown you. And when I search for the word live, it is interesting. I've uploaded the picture of the protest you just saw, and it's in Black Lives Matter. So it found live here right in the image on the protest board. And another thing which is interesting, I've uploaded a podcast from Babbage from The Economist, and there it has the word living in it, so it knows live. And if I go to this
UK nationals, it's time to take action.
And then it reads the text, and I can see the mentions of the word live within this podcast. So I can search audio now because it's transcribed from audio to text, which is interesting. And so there are many more things. And as you can see, I've uploaded a mobility report. So it knows entities from those reports, say Harvard University in the Netherlands. It knows areas in the Netherlands like Drenthe, or in Germany, it knows Baden-Württemberg. So there's lots to discover. It's free for journalists to use. Please do give it a try, I would say. And then on to our next item, which is trend. And in trends, you can see quite a few things happening with audience engagement. This is an example, bonding with your readers, what the KPCC and the LAist did with Hurricane and AI. So they had over 4,000 questions from their audience about COVID restrictions in the LA area, and they managed to use a template like this, which I'm showing you right now, coronavirus Hurricane engagement workflow, and they were able to answer 4,000 questions. And I know Le Monde is doing did similar things when the first lockdown in France happened, and they had a live feed with all these sort of actual breaking news, but they had another live feed where they could bond with their audience. So they did more on, you could say, community engagement and asking readers what their questions were and how they would go about their lives during a lockdown. So the trend is bonding with your readers in different ways by asking questions, answering questions, and following up on articles, which is an interesting trend. Now, there's a question, that's the fourth item of this weekly update. The question is this one: why now is the time to be thinking about artificial intelligence in your newsroom? Now, I'm an associate with Fathom, and we try to answer this, and the answer is at least 5 reasons, and that is AI is about data. Fundamentally, AI is about data, so you should think about your data first. And then AI fosters human-centered thinking. So this helps to think about what kind of data do we need, and what do people in a newsroom want, what does our audience need, and how can we connect those data points. Human-centered thinking, think about the user first. It's a point for new collaborations because you need all kinds of specialists, data scientists, machine learning experts, designers, marketeers. So it's a new starting point for new collaborations within the newsroom. And it informs your overall tech strategy because it's not just AI. There will be a new technology after this. So this helps to think about technology in general in the newsroom. What's your strategy when it comes to new technology? And lastly, you don't need AI FOMO. A lot of people are helping out. A lot of people are sharing best practices. There's a lot of resources online. And I would like to say, please go to this Medium post, medium.com/fathom, to find out more about why you should start thinking about AI now. And I'd like to show you its news impact summits from the European Journalism Center. And they've done 2 already on user engagement and audio and voice, and podcast in particular. There's another one upcoming, and that is 24 to 26 November, Data Journalism, Build Trust in Media. And as I said, with AI in journalism, you need to think about data, and now this could be a really interesting news impact summit. It's all online, it's free. November 24-26, Data Journalism. Thank you for watching this weekly update. See you next week.